guys, today we're going to be doing our broke boy servicing kit. So we head down to Super Cheap just shortly, and it's especially broke because part of the service will be paid for by returning this item, which never really fitted, which is bought from a cancelled swap meet episode. So let's do it. It wasn't as cheap as I thought it was going to be with the discount, so I did get my $30 off, but ended up being the oil filter was 27, fuel injector cleaner $13, oil $32. Ended up being $39 once I applied that discount. So here's all my stuff I got. It was originally about $70 worth of stuff right there. Anyway, let's go. The old owner actually took out the jack and tyre iron, so I don't go to Super Cheap and grab one. Alright guys, first little step I'm going to do is I'm just going to chuck in this fuel injector cleaner. And my experience is Calibre brand's pretty decent. So essentially it's just supposed to clean out the injectors. Essentially it's just the same as putting 98 in. When you got a fairly bigger tank, it's usually cheaper to buy this stuff. In my experience, you can buy it from places like, not this exact brand, but I have been able to buy it a few years ago for $5. And that's when I started using it. But this was $13 today. This is a slightly better brand than that brand though. But yeah, it's supposed to, you know, clean the injectors, help improve efficiency. It's the same as putting 98 in your car, but when you got a bigger tank like this one, or at least big compared to my Hyundai's tank, it's a bit cheaper than putting in, you know, $1.50 opposed to $1.20 of petrol. You see these little clips here, just to take out before. Oh, that's different. Yeah, I haven't cut that fancy before. I have screws instead of clips. Alright guys, so what you want to do is get to work of unscrewing those screws like a nun saying Hail Marys. And once you remove those, you want to start to work on cleaning the air filter. So essentially what I want you to do with that air filter is after you remove it, and it's going to go with the male end up, let's say, with the bit that pokes out up. So you want to clean that air filter harder than you cleaned your room when your crush was coming over, alright? I don't want there to be a speck of dust, because essentially this is going to save you $20 to $40. I've never paid less than $20 for an air filter personally. Unfortunately, the previous owner put this bolt on tighter than a Jehovah's Witness giving birthday presents, but I did manage to eventually get it off after trying about 3 different wrenches and 2 rattle guns. The second rattle gun, the DeWalt, managed to do the trick. Even though I was putting all my 90 kilos on it, as you see there, I kind of like try to leather my weight. I go the wrong way at one point because I'm like, oh, but it's not working this way, and I thought it was this way, but if I'm upside down, then maybe it's the right way up. So it just all one big mess. But eventually the rattle gun got it free. Unfortunately at that point my phone was dead, so I took it out of the tripod and I just got this little crappy footage you're going to see now. Once you're finished loosening it off with 17mm, just make sure that everything hits the oil collector you've set up, whatever you're using. Alright guys, turns out my oil filter tool was way too small for this oil filter. Well, way too big I should say actually. So I just drove my screwdriver straight through the middle of it, and now it's coming off, which is great. So after it, I drove this screwdriver through with this hammer. I was able to get it off, which is good. It's just good. Should just be able to pull that straight out now. To Z547. Z547. We're all good. Alright, so the next little step is to just crack the seal on this thing. I don't know why it's so hard today. Everything's harder than it's supposed to be today. So next little step is just to thread this back onto here, and I'll be really pissed if it doesn't go on. She's just sliding in. threading perfectly. I'm just going to do it up by hand. Doesn't have to be crazy tight like the other guy did. Alright, next up I like using a clear container for emptying out the old oil. I like to pretend I'm an anti-smoking ad. This is your lungs before smoking. This is them afterwards. Still want a fag? Gonna get rid of that stuff down at the local tip, not in your neighbour's backyard as well. Here's just another shot. We've got the little container here. And just to show you the filter, and a nice little hole poked through it. There we go. Let's put it back up. Now you want to pour in the new black ooze into the engine, making sure to check the dipstick at regular intervals, which is great advice even outside of automotive practice. So just make sure to keep pouring that stuff in. I actually ended up using most of that bottle, so I actually made a huge mistake here and the car's still jacked up. I ended up realizing and jacking it down before I finished filling it up. Thank God the filter takes a bit of oil up as well, because I was actually at near the maximum level here, but I haven't ran the car yet, so the oil filter still had to be filled up. Otherwise I would have been in changing the oil again city, which was not where I wanted to be actually. Definitely not. So yeah, just chuck your wheel back on. Unfortunately you do have to take off the wheel to get to that oil filter properly, if it's stuck on really well like the other person had put it on. I think he called down 4 from Bondi Beach or wherever he lives, just to put that oil filter on. But once you put it on yourself, if you did it like me just by hand, you should be able to get it off with a rag. So that should be fine. After that I like to check for leaks of the flashlight on my phone, running it at pressure with the aircon on. Alright, I hope you can see that. Got bloody shaky hands even though I don't drink. But essentially that's at just under max, so I'll probably put a little dab in, but other than that it's all job done, right? That's that in a nutshell. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please like and subscribe.